It's 1986. Pixar's opened its doors, Phantom of the Opera is having its first show in London, and Ryo Hazuki has returned home to find his father murdered by the mysterious Lon D. But just as importantly, Avalon Hill has published 1830 by Francis Tresham. Now here we are, almost 30 years later, and this game has spawned more spin-offs and expansions than Disney's straight-to-video sequels. Some of you may have heard of this game, but since it's been out of print for so long, you have no idea what the deal is with it. Well, good news, everyone! I hear that 1830 is due for a reprint. So let's just fire up the old Intertron here, and wow, that's a bit steep. Maybe prices will be a bit more sane on the BGG. Yeah, no. Well, hell. What do we do now? I'll tell you what we do. We print up our own damn version of the game. '18AL is a free print-and-play variant of 1830. You may think it's a train game, but it's more of a stock market game, with trains being your source of income. You'll see. Everyone starts with a wad of cash and 5 small companies are put up for bid. Going around the table, players can buy the cheapest available company or bid on one of the more expensive ones. Whenever the cheapest company is bought, then all companies with bids on them are resolved as well. This goes on until all the private companies are sold. At that point, the real stock round begins. Continuing around the table, players can buy one stock certificate and/or sell certificates from their collection. The first stock that anyone can buy in a given corporation is the President's Certificate. The purchaser chooses how much he wants to pay for those 2 shares of company stock. This is an important decision because once 60% of a corporation's stock is gone from the initial offering, the company floats, which means the company gets 10 times the initial stock price as starting capital, and also gets the ability to operate during the operating round. Play goes around and around the table, with each player taking a turn to buy and sell stock. Players can pass and join back in, but if everyone passes in a row, then the next player to have gone gets the priority deal card, and an operating round starts. During an operating round, players and/or corporations collect income for each private company they own, and then active major corporations get a chance to operate. When a corporation operates, its president gets to do one or more of the following in this order. First, the corporation can lay down one piece of track on the board. Yellow tiles go right on the board, and each tile has an upgrade path. Laying track is free except for certain spaces that have a cost for the first tile put down. After laying a track tile, the corporation then has the option to place stations on the board. The first one is $40 and each one after that is $100. After station placing, a corporation can run trains. The starter trains have the ability to connect 2 cities together, but later trains connect more. There are few rules governing train running, but the main ones are that a train's route has to include one of its corporation's stations somewhere, and only one train can use any given section of track. For each city or town the train runs through, the corporation makes that much money. After all a corporation's trains are run, the president has to decide what to do with all that cash. They can either keep it in the treasury to spend later, or they can pay it out as dividends, in which each share gets 10% of that round's train run. After running trains, the corporation can then buy trains. After all this stuff is done, the corporation's operating round is over, and the next active corporation can take its turn. Once all the corporations have operated, then we go back into the stock round. The game plays out over a series of phases, and phase changes are triggered by the type of train currently up for sale. Some pretty significant things change from phase to phase, so it helps to have a player aid handy. A corporation's stock price will fluctuate over the course of the game because of certain factors. The game ends when a corporation's stock hits $300 a share, the bank runs out of money, or when a player is bankrupted. In any case, the player with the most cash wins. Ah, smell that? That's the smell of 19th century industry. If you're a fan of Acquire, then I feel like this is an excellent next step for you. Ride the coattails of companies that are doing well. Get in as president and plunder all of a company's riches right before the end of the game. Or get other players interested in your company and then dump that stock. The general consensus is that this game is a great introduction to the 1830 series, and though I'm hardly an expert, I have to agree. Each corporation has something different about it, and the smaller private companies have powers that get unleashed when they're brought out by a larger corporation. On top of that, there's zero luck. That's good because it feels great when you win. It's bad because the less luck a game like this has, the slower some people play. Combined with some relatively intense bookkeeping, that can bog the game down a bit. But a couple of helpful player aids can speed things up, and some people even prefer to play with a moderator program on a laptop. Nerds. The game is print and play, but let me assure you, it's not nearly as hard to put together as you might think. I was able to make my set in about 3 hours. Putting aside questions of what you think your time is worth, that's not so bad. But if you're still hesitant for whatever reason, then keep this game in the back of your mind in case the reprint ever comes out. From what I can tell, 1830 is like this, only with more stuff. Definitely Acquire on steroids. And it's awesome.